So I am here in my sample classroom, and to get to the calendar for this class, there's a couple different ways that you can access it. You can go to the classwork tab up here across the top, and a link to the calendar for this individual classroom comes up here. If I click on that, it opens up my Google Calendar. So depending on what calendars you have checked off over here on the right-hand side, you may be seeing more than just the events for this one classroom. But if I have a whole bunch, I have a whole bunch of calendars here. Hopefully yours isn't as crazy looking as mine. But if you come across and you find the name of the classroom, so it will show up exactly the same as your classroom itself is named. So mine is just called Sample Classroom. And when I go back into the list of all the calendars that I have, the very first one is my own personal Google Calendar that has my name. And then under that are all of the other calendars that I have, most of which have just been generated from automatically from Google Classrooms. But if I come down to the one that is named exactly like the classroom I am trying to work in now, I can come over to the three dots. When I hover over the calendar, you see how these other dots and the X appear. I'm going to hover over it. I'm going to come to the three dots. And if I choose display this only, then I will be able to see what my students, parents, anyone who visits my website would be seeing. They would have access to see only the things that I have posted within my sample classroom calendar via Google Classroom or by adding an event into the calendar itself. So what we need to do first is we need to change the settings so that the people who click on our sites will be able to see the information that is on there. And I'll get into in a minute exactly what they would be able to access and be able to see. But if you come over to the name of the classroom, the name of the calendar that we're working with, so that you get those three dots again, click on the dots and come down to the settings and sharing. And you'll see that I am in the settings for just this sample classroom. And if I scroll a little bit, I want to come down here to the access permissions and making this calendar available to the public. And like I said, you'll see my other calendars are appearing here also, but we're only dealing with the settings of this sample classroom. So this is not making everything available to public, only this sample classroom. So I'm going to check off here, make available to public. A warning comes up just to let me know that what I'm doing is making this accessible to anyone to see. And I'll get into in a minute what people will be able to see on your calendar and what they won't be able to see. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit OK. And then once that is done, I can now go back to the calendar itself. And what appears here in this classroom created calendar are any assignments that I have posted within my classroom. So I just posted something simple as an assignment, and it has a due date. Now, when I go to the calendar for this specific classroom, you'll see that on September 17th, it comes up the word assignment and the title of what I have given this assignment. The public would not be able to see anything besides the date that this item was due and the title of the assignment. A link is posted right here within the calendar event to the classroom assignment itself. And if anyone outside of your Google Classroom, anyone who is not one of your enrolled students in your Google class, clicks on that link, they will be blocked by the sign in screen to access the Google Classroom, because this is taking me now into my Google Classroom. So anyone who is not enrolled in the class, anyone who's not on CHCLC, anyone who is not um, able to access this would be stopped by the sign on page when they went to click on this. So making your Google Classroom calendar public only means that the public would see the word assignment, the title of the assignment that as you named it within Google Classroom, and the date that it is due with a link then to the assignment itself. So the purpose is just to alert parents, alert students, alert anyone looking at this public view of the calendar that something is happening on that date, and parents would then have to, parents would then have to ask their students or their child to actually sign into Google Classroom for them to see what the assignment is itself. So without that CHCLC login, they would not see anything else.